Kirsten Wright, the very talented owner of Wright Creativity. Thanks for joining us, Kirsten.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Let's talk about your panel. Starting out, this was your first time speaking at PubCon, so welcome. Let me let you get into it.
Yeah, I have to say I was very excited about getting my first speaker ribbon. My panel, we covered navigating the complex world of social media. Everybody talks about social media. Oh, it's Twitter and Facebook. Well, it's way more than that. And so I was on a panel with Reem Abday from Microsoft, Jennifer Laycock. I believe it was Rob Snell, and then our moderator is Pat Strader. And we covered everything from, how to actually brand yourself on Twitter to then how you can use Twitter in real search, how you can use Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube in real search, really the changes that are going on between organic search, paid search, and how that changes social media, which is fabulous because a lot of people think, oh, social media, it's just free. Well, there's a lot of ways that you can use paid social media to hugely enhance your campaigns. And so we talked a lot about that, including, promoted tweets, promoted Twitter accounts, and then we did go through some topics for YouTube, LinkedIn, although we did focus more on Twitter and Facebook.
Give us some specific tips.
My biggest specific tip for anyone is look at your last 10 tweets. If you wouldn't follow you, nobody else would. Most people look and they go, oh, I want to talk about this, or I want to talk about this. Well, if nobody else cares what you're talking about, then they're not going to want to participate with you. Without participation, Twitter, Facebook, any of them are pointless. And so I always say, if you're not telling other people about what they're doing, you're not talking about what other people are doing, 80% of the time, then you're doing it wrong. Stop talking about yourself. Nobody cares that much.
Yeah, no, it's true. How do you create a strategy when you sit down and you're going to implement social media with a client? What exactly do you do?
Absolutely. Well, the first thing I do is I sit down with a client and I ask them what they want as their result. If they look at me and they go, I want more money, I want more business, then I go, okay, we need to take a step back and go, is social media right for you? Because if that's their only goal, then social media probably is not the right strategy. They need to understand that social media is not a profit-making procedure. It's building communications, is having that product out there, but it's all about what others are saying, not what you're saying. And so that's the first thing that I do. And then I sit down and I go, okay, how much time are you willing to commit? If they're willing to put in a lot of time, then we can use multiple tools. If they really only have a limited amount of time, I'll narrow it down to the top 1 or 2 tools that work specifically for them. Local businesses, I always integrate either Foursquare or Whirl, depending on what their budget is and how much they want to spend and how they want to make it work. For businesses that aren't local, it's always Facebook, it's always Twitter, unless they're a B2B, and then we can, rediscuss everything.
You mentioned some tools. What tools do you suggest over others?
Personally, I use Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Foursquare is my favorite for checking in. I do use Whirl if it's for a large event because then I can integrate photos. But really my ultimate tool that I could never give up is my blog. And I tell anybody who wants to get in social media, just start writing a blog. You don't have to share it with the world, just start writing because that's going to give you a feeling of how you can then communicate on all of the other channels.
From your perspective, what do you think we're going to start seeing over the next year? How is social media going to evolve?
I absolutely think that vlogging and video content is going to become a lot larger because it's become less expensive to break into that market. 4 years ago, it was very expensive to get a good camera that was going to take good enough quality video that you could then put on the web. Video processing was expensive. Now you can get, a flip, plug it into your computer, upload it to YouTube, and you're vlogging. And so I think that you're going to see a lot more people that are doing that, and it's more interactive, it's more fun. I know personally, that's my next frontier.
Excellent. Okay, this is Kirsten Wright with Wright Creativity. You can check her out at
Wright Creativity, WRIGHT, creativity.com, and my blog's linked directly there.